Yo, it's your boy Invincible, and we are here on another episode of the Gentleman Club Diary, and I got a spectacular guest. She goes by the name of Barbie. What's going down, Barbie?
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming through. I appreciate you coming through. You're looking very nice today, I must say.
Thank you. I washed my hair.
You washed your hair? I know, right? All right. So you're looking good. How was your drive over here?
It wasn't too bad. That 210 freeway gets a little crazy at rush hour, but you know.
I hear you. Okay, so what I like to start off, and I ask this pretty much on every episode, but I want to know just kind of give us a background and how you got started.
Okay. It's actually a kind of peculiar story. I was working a corporate job at the time, trying to climb the corporate ladder, trying to do like the American dream, right? Have like the good job and get a house and a nice car and the 401k and the health benefits, and I was just trying to do it all at 21. And I was freshly divorced. I got married real young.
Divorce at 21?
Yeah, I know.
That's
Life
crazy.
has been a wild ride. We're going to get there, though. We're going to get there.
Right. It already sounds wild. I'm like, 21. All right.
I've been on my own for a long time. So by 21, I was already like 30.
Okay. So
I had already
grew up fast.
Yeah, I had to grow up fast. I have all much older brothers. So there's always been a lot expected of me, right? So I expect a lot of myself in return.
You got it.
And I hit up a girlfriend one time, and we grew up together. We've known each other since we were 4. And it's funny because we knew each other from church. I hit her up and I'm like, hey, I was like, you want to get in shape and become strippers? And she was like, I see like the little text bubble. And she texts me back and she sends me like all these links. It's like, dunk, 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 dunk. And I'm like, oh, girl, I'm not ready. She's like, hey, this club says they like thick bitches. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm all nervous, and we go and we interview, and I'm dressed nice, like for like a nice interview. And we go to the club, and we're like, okay, this is kind of cool. And they basically tell us like, yeah, this is a bikini bar. So you're going to be a server and a dancer. So you're like a go-go dancer. It's not topless, nothing. And I had no boobs at the time. I was like maybe an A cup with a fat ass. So I was like,
but
sweet.
You had the booty. You had the
yeah, I had that Latino booty.
Yeah,
so we're good.
Yeah,
so I was like, all right, cool. So
right, got it.
Fast forward now, I've been in the adult entertainment industry and nightlife for about 5 years.
5 years.
And I've stepped in and out of it. I think that's the best part about it for me personally, is that, you know, we still have a little bit of freedom to create our schedule and still be able to, you know, focus on your life, focus on your education, build the structure of your future, but still have the opportunity to go and make that money and go hustle on the days where you can, and in the privacy of doing it wherever you want to do it. You want to do in town, you want to do it out of town, wherever you want to go, you have the opportunity. And it kind of opens a lot of doors. My favorite thing when it comes to nightlife and entertainment is the amount of network we get to do. I love to network.
That's true, because you can network. We were just talking about there's so many different people you can meet from all walks of life, whether they're artists, shit, you can meet a damn chef. There's so many different people, different walks of life, so you learn a lot, right?
Yeah, I definitely have learned a lot. I've met some really interesting people. Being in this industry ended up kind of throwing me into the underground poker world.
Oh, damn.
When everything shut down, so I was bartending there.
Oh, so during the COVID, you were doing all the poker stuff?
Yeah, and then I ended up becoming a personal chef.
For real? Okay. And we're about to cook. She's going to cook up some food.
Yeah, next one will be in the kitchen.
All right. The next one.
So we'll leave the studio and we'll go to the kitchen.
All right, I got it.
I'll show y'all some things. But, yeah, I definitely did a lot of networking. It's so crazy because, like, for a lot of people, COVID, it was such an awful experience for them, and it really destroyed their life. But I think everything's about perspective, because God took me on a path that I didn't know I needed to go down, but I really did. And I met so many people, and I really branched out, and I developed my skill, and I developed my craft in a different way that I had no expectation of.
That's cooking, right?
Yeah, cooking, bartending, but most importantly, networking.
Okay, yeah.
Networking. My mom taught me when I was really young.
Okay.
You never know who's going to be your boss and who's going to be your in-laws. So you be nice to everybody you meet.
That's true. You be nice to everybody you meet. Because I met you. I didn't even meet you in the club, or we never worked together. No. And I met you. Actually, I don't know, how did I meet you?
It was through Instagram. One of my girlfriends in the industry had posted for something that you did with Too Short.
Uh-huh.
And I was supposed to bartend for you, but I had just had my breasts redone, so I couldn't really lift my arms much. And I was looking at the dates, and you were like, you know what, let me catch you on the next event. And then I did the event here at Citrus Studio. Yeah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not good with things. But.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So look, if you would have met me during the pandemic, well, I was still working managing the club, but but I was doing private. Even when we got shut down, I was doing private events.
Oh yeah.
And for those that don't know, that's what we kind of did to stay alive. We basically would do private events.
Yeah.
I'll call the girls over. I had a good relationship with a lot of the customers. And shit, we'll just basically have a party and make money. The girls will make money.
Yeah, and the thing is like, if you truly were a hustler and you came from nothing, I came from nothing. Everything that I have is from my own hard work, my own blood, sweat, and tears. And Arnold Schwarzenegger said, there's no such thing as a self-made man or woman, because everybody you meet in your path has led you to a part of your destiny, has helped you along the way. So I'm not going to say, oh, I'm self-made, because I don't believe in that. I think even what we're doing right now as a community and adding something together and creating beautiful art and having an experience, you know, you're learning from the people around you. You're learning from culture around you. But yeah, it's, for me, networking is a big deal, but I think being around the right people is also really important.
Yeah, you know what? I have actually met so many people in the industry that have actually said, hey, there's one guy that I know of. He's actually hosting concerts, doing so much more. I'm not saying that. I mean, I feel like in this realm of work, there's so much you can grow in. You know, there's me personally. I was throwing events at the club I was working at. I brought Too Short there. We had a big old function. So there's so many different avenues you can do, so many connections you can make. So actually, it is a good resource for networking.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You never know who you're gonna meet, and I mean, you can stereotype or typecast, however you want to say it. You can look for the keys to know who somebody might be. Like for me, I look at the wristwatch, I look at the shoes, and I look at the belt.
So what if I come in there just like, okay, that's a good question, because I've been to a club, and this is for reals. I walked in with at least, I don't know, I might have had like $5,000 in my pocket, right, that day. And this has happened more than one time. Right. I go in there by myself, and I'm ready to throw some money, whatever. And matter of fact, I have thrown money, at the dancers dancing. I didn't get no thank you. I didn't get no girls coming to me.
Ew.
And this has happened many times.
It's giving ghetto.
Why do you think that is? Like, some girls, they don't smell it. I used to say, man, you don't smell it.
You know what? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. So you can't instill that hustle into someone. You cannot teach someone how to hustle. You're either a hustler or you're not.
You're not a hustler. So based on the appearance, as far as what they're wearing and stuff, has that became most of the time true of them maybe being somebody that had money?
Yes and no. I think for me, when I look at a guest of the club, I look at how they present themselves. I look at how they carry themselves. Did they just get off work? Are they a construction worker? Are they a dock worker? Are they a businessman? What's the age? What's the race? What's the demographic? What town are you in? What's the tax bracket that they're in? There's a lot of, within 5 seconds, you have to make a profile of someone in your head, and you have to know how to approach them, right? Because if they're young, you're going to be all wild and crazy. Hey, what's up? And then if they're older, and if they're in the older crowd, the older generation, hi, nice to meet you, I'm Barbie. Do you mind if I join you?
And so if you were approaching me in a club, how would you address me?
It would depend on how you're dressed. If you're dressed like right now, I'd come up and I'd just sit down and I'd start popping jokes with you. I'd be like, what's up?
Right.
I mean, but that's just like for me and who I am. Like, I'm not one of those girls, like, where I walk up, I'm all twerking and shaking ass. Like, for me, I have a lot more to offer than a fat ass. Like, I have a fat ass, but that's not all that I have to offer.
So okay, I got it. Some girls might come and they'll start twerking right here in front of you. So that's not your game. Your game is more.
No, and I have nothing against that hustle, girl. You know what works for you. You know what makes your money. You can't make my money, and I can't make yours. We're not competition. We're not the same. We're not copy and paste.
If you got the heavy duty booty, I mean, I would not mind that if you were to do that in front of me, though. You know?
Right.
I'd be like, all right, cool, go ahead and shake that booty. But
You're like
I
earthquake o'clock.
Yeah, but I do like that though, like a girl to come actually talk to me, because I think everybody likes to feel special. So come talk to me, make me feel special.
Well, and that's the crazy thing. So, my mom of all people coined the term for me that I'm a bikini therapist.
Bikini therapist. Okay.
So I don't really consider myself a dancer or a stripper, and certainly not a sex worker, because I don't sell sex. I think it would be very disrespectful to women that are actually sex workers, because I do have friends that work in the industry, and that is their craft, that is their skill, and it takes a lot to master it. And there's a lot to be said about the industry, that it really takes a lot from you, and I have a lot of respect for those women. But I don't consider myself a sex worker.
So where do you think that kind of came? Is it because you guys are showing?
You know what? It kind of something that like popped up through the internet. People are like, this for sex workers and protesting for sex workers, and I'm like, yeah, girl, like get your coin, but that's not me.
Yeah, see,
I'm not selling sex. I'm selling quality time. You're paying to play.
I remember working, and one time we used to have this regular customer. He'd come in like every day, and he made a comment. He's like, where's all the hoes at, this and that, like referring to the girls as being hoes. But I started thinking in my mind, because I was observant too. I would observe the customers and how they would act, and I noticed that not only was he being judgmental, but he was over there, he was a married dude there every day trying to get the punani, right? And I said, damn, well, who are you? I mean, you calling the girls the hoes, which is, some girls like to be called hoes.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. If you want to,
I don't get mad about names.
yeah, if you want to be
whatever.
You want to be a hoe, that's cool. I'm cool with the hoes.
Listen, a fish is a fish. Just let a bitch swim.
Okay, yeah, right. So, but I noticed like guys that will go to the club, they look kind of down at the woman. But I'm like, who are you to look down at them when you're fucking married?
You're the one here. Well, it's so crazy, because the people that do know these intimate parts about my life and know that I am involved in this industry, which is a select amount of people to trust with that information, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of people have this preconceived idea, and I even had to explain it to my mom, because I told her up front what I was doing. I was
she
like,
cool with it?
Yes and no. I was raised very conservative Christian. So
you still Christian?
I'm more spiritual than religious.
Okay,
I don't believe in religion, because I think it's naturally corrupt, because anything made by man is corrupt, and they said it in the Bible.
Okay, well, that's another conversation.
We'll go to church on Sunday. We'll talk about it.
We're both going to hell just now.
But, there's a lot of preconceived ideas about this industry, and that it's degrading to women, and that there's men there looking for hoes, and that they're disrespectful, and they put their hands on you, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I am more respected in the club in a bikini than I am in Costco in my pajamas.
Damn.
I have had men be so disrespectful to me, and I dress very modest outside and like in the real world, because I'm me right then. I'm not Barbie. Barbie is her own entity of me. I am my own person.
So that's you're an entertainer. So
I'm an entertainer, and that's just a piece of my personality that I allow myself to unlock when I'm at work. And because that's what makes me money. But out in the real world, I dress very conservative. I wear pants. I cover up my tattoos. I wear a lot of turtlenecks. Everybody makes fun of me, because they're like, I've never seen a bitch with so many tattoos and so many turtlenecks. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just how I'm comfortable. But I think for me, it's that duality of, it makes it so much more appealing when sometimes, the mystery is the sexiest part about a woman.
That's true. They were saying, and I find this to be true, because like us men, like I like a girl in lingerie, you know what I mean? So I want to see a girl, or like a girl in some high heels, some stilettos. Like, to me, that's a big turn on.
Presentation is key.
Right? So when I would go to a strip club, I would look for things like that. Okay, what kind of, they wearing some sexy heels, they got some beat up feet, and I ain't messing with you, I'll go to the next one. So there's little things that I would look for.
Well, the devil's in the details.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. But I always say, how you present yourself, right? You can present yourself up here, but the general public, how you present yourself is how you respect yourself.
Exactly.
It's up here. The general public is always going to fall short. People are always going to fall short to your expectation and your standard. So you got to set it a little bit higher.
So you got the high standards.
You have to set your standard, and you have to present yourself at your best if you want the best in return.
Okay, now going back to the whole strip club thing. You said you've been doing this for what, 6 years, 5 years?
About 5 years, yeah.
5 years. So I'm pretty sure you have a lot of stories and a lot of stuff to talk about. I mean, what kind of stories? I mean, do you have any funny stories or just odd ass stories that has happened while you've been working in the strip club?
I have so many. I don't even know where to start.
What's one that just rings a bell up in your head right now?
I have given a man a concussion because he tried to lick my butthole.
Okay.
And mind you, I don't work fully nude.
Yeah.
I only work topless clubs and bikini bars.
And this was with a bikini because I know what clubs.
And I was with the bikini, like
Yeah.
fully with the bikini on. It's not even like I was in the VIP and it was just us alone. Like we were in a room with people and he was like diving straight for the dolphin. And I was like, what are you doing? And I just grabbed him by the face and I smashed him in the wall and just like, I warned you 3 times to not be disrespectful. So, you know, when you're dealing with like people and alcohol, sometimes drugs, listen, man, live your life, but don't disrespect me while you're living your best life.
Yeah, things happen. Things happen all the time, and I've witnessed that. I witnessed this a lot, where guys will jump over the tip rail and they'll try to put the dollar bill like in the girl's butt cheeks. Basically.
What's so annoying to me is when, because for me, everything I do with a smile, right? That's customer service.
Even when you're mad?
Even when I'm mad
Okay.
and even when I'm talking shit to you, I'm going to do it with a smile. Because I'm going to make you look as stupid as you are.
So you're going to be like, screw you, but still smiling at me.
Fuck you, bitch.
Okay, I got you.
But my thing is, I'm very gracious with people because I understand that not a lot of people understand the etiquette in this industry. Not a lot of people understand club etiquette. And every now and then you'll get a customer or clientele that asks, hey, is this okay, or what is the club etiquette? I just had a gentleman that I met the other night. He came in with a manager that is his family member from the industry at another club. He was sitting with me, we were talking, he was tipping me, and he was like, I'm going to be completely honest, can I ask you a question? I'm like, sure, I don't care, ask me whatever you want. You want to know the last time I took a shit? What do you want to know? Like, let's go. And he's like, am I wasting your time? And I said, are you compensating me for my time? And I said, do you feel like you're appropriately compensating me for my time? And he was just like, okay, and tip me more. And I'm like, cool, that's it. But it is, I am the kind of person where I will respectfully bow out of a situation if I don't feel like I'm being compensated properly. But you will come across how you present yourself again is how people are going to treat you. Mm-hmm. You teach people how to respect or disrespect you. But you get a lot of people that don't know club etiquette. And sometimes that can be a really beautiful thing. And sometimes it could be an ugly thing. But you just have to understand how to address it. And sometimes people act stupid when they're nervous. I don't know about you, but I've done some cringy things in my life when I was nervous.
Yeah. I definitely.
Sometimes you do stuff and you're like, oh, why did I do that? Why was I so goofy, or why did I act so stupid? And it's just because you're nervous. We're all human.
That's true.
And that's the thing you got to remember at the end of the day. We're all human.
And we fuck up when we drink a lot. I fucked up a lot. Okay. I mean, I know what's up, but what if you were to have like a 10 commandments of? I'm not saying to do 10, but if you were to have like a 10 commandments of stripper etiquette when you come into a strip club, I mean, how should someone act?
Number 1, come with money to spend.
Okay.
If you don't have money, go home. I don't know who let you out the house. It costs $100 to leave the house and just breathe air. That's just to leave the house. That's not to get into the club. That's not to have drinks. That's not to have pretty bitches around you. That's not to have ugly bitches around you. That's just to leave the house. Gas is $9 a gallon. I drive premium.
So you need $100 just to leave.
Just to walk out your front door, you better have $100 on you. Now to leave the perimeter of your house, you better have more than $100 on you. But the other thing is don't be afraid to ask questions. It's okay to ask what's okay and what's not okay.
So if you're new to a strip club, be sure to...
Like if you see a woman and you think like, damn, she is so beautiful, or she is so interesting, or gosh, she's a good dancer, and you want to dance from her, excuse me, can I get a dance? Or hey, I loved your dance. Or hey, can I tip you?
So
anything.
Number two would be ask questions.
Ask questions, yeah.
Okay. What about number 3?
Number 3.
We're gonna make them up as we go right now. Fuck it.
I'm like, How do I measure the importance?
Number
I
3.
think they're all equally important.
Yeah, they are.
Number 3 is be respectful.
Respectful.
Be respectful.
That's what a lot of people don't have when they're drunk is respect.
I think a lot of people come in and they feel like, I got money on me. I got to have this ego to be the man, da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, honestly, just be yourself. Because the club is like a time machine, right? You go inside and the real world pauses. The club is a time machine. You go inside and the real world pauses. You come in there to be whoever you need to be. And for us, we're there. You're paid to play. We're there to be whoever you need us to be. You want the girlfriend experience? Pay for it. You want to argue? Pay for it. I've had some toxic ass customers. I know they come in just to argue.
They're like, screw you, girl.
Yeah, they're like, you're just another bitch on the roster. And
I'll get another dance from her.
I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you breathing over your fat fuck self. What are you saying, bitch? Like, some people like that. Some people, it's exciting to them to argue. Some people, they've had just the worst day of their whole entire life. Their mom just died, or their best friend just died, and they want someone to drink with them. Some people, they feel insignificant in their relationship, and they want to be catered to, and they want to be sexualized, and they want to be stimulated. It's something different for everybody.
Okay.
It's something different for everybody.
So did we say 3 was respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what would be number 4? Tip money?
Yeah, all that money from number 1, number 4.
Okay, when you come out the house with at least a couple $100 at least, right?
At least, because what's crazy is dances have never inflated. We are seeing the craziest amount of inflation rates right now, and dances are still $25. What?
Yeah, right. Hey, think about that though. You can get a girl to dance up on you, sometimes butt naked, for $25.
That's
like where can you go for
wild.
that? That is crazy, right?
I can't even have lunch for $25.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I can't even leave my house. I'm a 91 too.
I'm like zoom in my little Benz. I'm like, oh, $25.
Yep.
There goes that shit.
It seems like
We're not street racing in 2022.
I'm gonna be honest. It seems like it's $90 every 2.5 days for me.
Yeah.
But I'm like, damn. So
yeah.
I kind of got used to it. But okay, so tip money would be number 4, right?
Yeah, I hate when people are like, whoa, and they're screaming. I'm like, woos don't pay my bills. Can I take that to Edison?
Oh, when they're in the strip
Can
club
I send
and they're
that
yelling?
to Mercedes? Like, woos don't pay my bills. The DJs will always say, like, the girls are here for funds, not for fun. And I'm like, yeah.
Now, when I'm on the mic, I'm like, let me see the ballers throw them up. Like, I'll be talking shit.
I've seen you on the mic, that event that I worked with you.
And
You talk shit. It's funny, though.
I was light on that day, but I normally... And it used to work, too. Like, I would get people and then I'll start... Once somebody started throwing money, that's when I started... Shout out to the guy, only baller in the house throwing money. Yeah.
Well, because sometimes people just want to feel like a boss. They just want to feel good.
And
there's some people that's their love language, is giving, is gifts of giving. And it's the best person you meet in the club is somebody that's their love language, where they like to see you happy and they like to spend on you.
So number 5 would be giving. Be a giver.
Yeah, be a giver.
When you come to a club, if you want to, I'm already feeling buzzed already. No, when
you that drink I made you?
Yeah, she made me this crazy drink. I don't know what it is. It's really good though.
It's like a Mexican lollipop kind of, but not as sweet.
I don't know what it is, but it tastes like I'm not drinking nothing. It tastes good though. Really
That's a good drink. Thank you.
Yeah, so number 5 will be a giver.
Be a giver.
And yeah, when you come to the club, make sure you're giving, you're throwing some dollars, and you'll be the dopest dude in the club, right?
Yeah, and just be aware of your surroundings. I think number 6 could be aware of your surroundings. If you're in a trap club and it's ratchet, be ratchet.
Be ratchet, okay.
And if you're in a gentleman's club and there's more rules, and like you're not allowed to dance on the floor and you're not allowed to have girls sit on your lap, just be aware of your surroundings. Like, know what's going on around you and act
know
accordingly.
the vibe.
Yeah, know the vibe. Because sometimes, you could set the vibe. Because there's been times where you go into the club and you're like, oh, God, this is so boring. And then you just get like this random group of like 3 dudes and they're just lit. They left the Dodger game.
Oh, they're ready to party.
It's like a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah,
and they're like,
ready.
shots for all the bitches,
And they do
it's fun.
Yeah, that's a lot of Mondays were like that for me. Mondays, a lot of girls didn't want to come in. But then we got Mondays cracking where I actually used to enjoy Mondays.
Right. And it's like, as somebody that owns my own small business, sometimes as like a business owner, you are so smashed Thursday through Sunday that you don't have time to go out on the weekend, or you're exhausted, or you got to take care of some stuff, that you prefer to kind of go out and party. Like for me, I like to party Monday through Wednesday when I do go out, because my busiest days. Animal. I'm not a party animal. My friends are party animals.
Hey, she ain't never invited me.
They just dragged me to the trenches.
And they never invited me out to
the first time I went to Sam's was because my guy friends, my homeboys were like, hey, let's go to Sam's. I'm like, I've never been there. They're like, I thought you were a dancer and a bartender. Like, Sam's is a shit. I'm like, I don't know. I've just never been there. I go there. I run into customers. I run into friends. I run into homies. Next thing I know, people are giving me money to throw in the bitches. I'm like, I love it here. I could never work here. It's a little too chaotic.
Oh, you don't like it?
For me, as a customer, as a guest, I was thriving. I was having the time of my fucking life. There's bitches everywhere and money, and I was having so much fun.
Yeah,
and I just was throwing money on titties, and I was having the time of my life. But as an entertainer, I'd be a nervous wreck. The girls there, you gotta you throw money and they like grab it real fast. Because it's like real aggressive there. And there's like 17 girls on stage. And I'm like, ooh,
Yeah, I heard that. I heard everybody's kind of crawling for the money there.
Yeah, I'm more like, I like Gentlemen's Club. I like there to be more structure, more respect.
And we were talking about something. I know we were talking about the numbers through 10. There's a whole bunch of rules. If we were to really boil it down, I'll probably have 30 rules in my head.
I'll go home and I'll put them in the comments.
Yeah, and then we'll put them in. Yeah, right? Put them in the. So, I mean, but we're talking about the vibe in the club. As far as when you enter a club, like you said, there's clubs that all the DJs might play as trap music. They might play a variety of Latin music. When I was there, they started playing a lot of the reggaeton there.
Yeah, reggaeton is a big one right now.
Yeah, so
Bad Bunny's like dominating the industry.
What about like a DJ who maybe you suggest, you say, hey, can you play this song, and they're not cool with playing that?
There are certain clubs that I will not work at, or I'll only work there on certain days because of that kind of scenario. And I understand, like, they're just here trying to do their job. Management might have had a conversation with them. You know, we want it to be only super lit songs, super this, super that, between these hours. And that's okay.
Hey, you know
I'm trying to do my job the same way you're trying to do your job.
Okay, so for the DJs that work out there, so that just made perfect sense, because you're saying that you wouldn't work on certain DJ shifts because of that issue.
Right, and it wasn't like a prejudice against that DJ, except for there's this one DJ. He's an absolute turd, so I'm not going to mention his name. Want to give him a shout-out?
Want to give him a shout-out?
Nah, he could...
no shout-outs?
I'm going to pray for him when I get home. How about that?
I'm going to find out, and then when she's about to leave, at the end, I'm going to give you a shout-out.
We'll talk shit in the parking lot later. No, he's just a miserable person, and misery loves company, and I just don't like to get involved with people like that, so I stay away. Okay. It's like be the bigger person kind of thing, like...
Yeah,
see, be goofy over there.
As a manager, I used to, I would definitely be observant on the crowd, and I what I noticed too, like some people would want to only play trap.
Yeah.
And I noticed when you're just playing that specific music for a long time, the energy. It's weird how in the club you can actually sense the energy, like you could.
Yeah.
You can really identify.
Yeah, well, you know what's wild is that, like, I mean, if we really want to get into the deep psychology of it, a lot of women that are in this industry are very empathetic women, and and it's not necessarily that, like, oh, you had a bad childhood and that's why you became a dancer, but it's that you have crafted your skill as someone who came through something crazy, and you know how to react to people in different scenarios, and you know, as a people pleaser, you know how to please different kinds of people, right? So now we're getting to, like, the deep psychology behind your inner child and all this crazy talk with Barbie, right? This is why I'm everybody's bikini therapist. But you can, when you perfect your craft of knowing how to feel the energy in the room and knowing how to read the room, it is the most beneficial thing for you. And that's why so many entertainers or dancers are very empathetic people, is because we feel the energetic shift in the room. And, like, there's been times, like, I was at a club and there was a shooting, and right before the shooting, everybody, like, all the girls, got a little, like, weird. We were like, oof. Yeah. And then there was a shooting outside, and all of us were just kind of like, what? Ooh, what was that noise? Like, that was not a motorcycle, that was not kickback, that was not exhaust. What was that? And then, like, things kind of shifted, and, you know, the music's loud and the bass is crazy, but you feel the energetic shift.
It definitely shifts.
You feel the energetic shift. And so you kind of have to know how to navigate that, because sometimes it can make you anxious. Some people thrive off of that. But you have to know how to adapt.
So in the club when I was working, I noticed that, like I said, sometimes there would be a darker energy.
Yeah.
And what I would try to do is right away I'll go up to the DJ and I'll tell him to play like a Soldier Boy or something.
Yeah, get it popping, have it be fun.
Why? Because
Fun vibe.
it switches that angry, mad.
Right.
And they're like, well, why are you playing that? I said, I'm not playing that because I necessarily like that song.
Yeah.
I'm playing that because it brings and if I'm on the microphone, I'm gonna fuck around with people and I'm gonna be, hey, you know, I'm gonna entertain. So,
Yeah.
and that's the vibe that I always try to identify. Like I always try to identify what type of people are in here. If we have a bunch of hood people in here, I want to see how I can break them from not just mad dogging and looking angry the whole time.
Pop off with some Troville.
Yeah, all that stuff, right? Right?
Yeah.
We were just talking. She said she was bumping the Nilly Banilly or whatever their name is. I said, man, okay, that's
No,
old school.
I play like a lot of old school or like slower songs.
She likes Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz, American Woman by Lenny Kravitz. That's my jam. People that know me, I used to go by Valentina.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Dang.
A lot of people for a lot of years knew me as Valentina.
I'm surprised we never worked together because
You know what? I think it's like that whole like you're always 3 degrees off from someone until like the divine timing of the universe is like
put you
watch
together.
this.
Yeah.
This is gonna be funny. Watch this. God has a funny sense of humor.
Yeah.
So be careful what you ask for.
Okay. Evidently, we asked for this moment right here.
Yeah.
So,
No,
right.
definitely. I believe manifestation is very real. Manifestation and prayer are the same thing, you know. And it's. I mean, I have a tattoo on my arm. It's
What
as
you got
above.
on your tats?
I got a lot of stuff. They're all very sentimental, but this one right here is the Seal of Solomon, and it's a very, very old method of thinking.
Okay.
And it's, you know, it says the microsome is as of the macrosome. So it basically translates to the heaven is as of the earth, as above, so below, as I believe, so it is.
Okay.
So in life, you create your own reality. You're the boss of your life. You hire and fire, right?
I do believe that because, like, I had a discussion earlier today. I said, you know what? There were certain scenarios that kept happening in my life, and I said, well, I think it's my fault because I'm getting hints like, don't work with that, don't do that, but I'm still saying, no. How can I make it work? How can I make it? And now I'm learning, no, you just, if it gives you the signal already, the red flag, back up.
Well, God and the universe will send you the same demon, and you will keep fighting the same demon until you learn your lesson.
You learn your lesson.
And what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. You know?
Yeah. So what about that name you have right there? See, I love
This one, it's in Russian.
Oh, I love I love Vince. That's tight. I didn't know.
Yeah, it says "Ya live tebya." It means "I love you" in Russian. That was actually my first tattoo.
See, I was close. I thought it said "I love Vince," but I was.
Oh yeah, close enough.
Nah, that's close enough.
Hey, as above, so below. As I believe, so it is. It's whatever you say it is.
So, what ethnic group are like? What's your?
What am I?
Yeah,
I'm Mexican and Italian.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, everybody's like, "You're white, right?" And I'm like, when the cops pull me over, yeah. I'm as white as I need to be until tax season, and I'm like, hey, where those Latino loans at?
Yeah, see, I didn't know that. I didn't know you're like. All right.
Yeah, my family more than effectively whitewashed me. Sometimes I feel like I was switched at birth. Because if you look at my family and you look at me, you're like, what the hell did this thing come from? I don't know, man.
So are they? What's your family? They look more white.
My dad, you know, my family's from like the mountains of Spain, so the Basque Mountains, and then from Spain to Mexico in the 1800s. So my grandmother has the green eyes, the ginger hair, and fair skin. And then my dad and his brothers all have like jet black hair, darker eyes. Some of them have the blue eyes, so they look very Spaniard.
Oh, shit, yeah.
They're very tall. I'm 5'10". I'm the shortest person in my family.
You're 5'10"?
Yeah, my tallest brother is 6'6".
For some reason, right now, you didn't feel that tall compared to me. I know you.
Yeah.
But, I mean.
Well, it's like they say, you know, like in bed or on your knees, you're everybody's height. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, dang. Right.
You always gotta leave to me to have some crusty ass joke, but I guess I'll leave those for later.
Okay, now that's
and then my mom's actually really tall. My mom played softball in high school. She was 5'10". Now she's like 60, so she's a little bit shorter.
So did they? As far as your mom, did she? I mean, you knowing you were a dancer and all that, did she have different expectations for you? Like, oh, I don't. you know, I don't want you doing that. I want you doing
You know,
something.
it's so funny because how the phone call went, I danced one night and I was like, I weighed out the pros and cons. I literally wrote a list of pros and cons. Like so much of an overthinker.
Yeah.
And I'm very cautious about what I allow in my life. Because everything you do leads you to your destiny.
That's true.
Everywhere, I mean, I have that tattoo underneath my boobs.
Oh, do you?
2 hearts beat within my chest. One I love, one I hate. The one I feed will dominate. So
It's-
every choice in life leads you down one
Yeah.
path or the other.
And see, if they want to see those tattoos, you got to find her at the club. You got to hit
You
her.
gotta find me somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta hit-
I think I'm gonna start an OnlyFans. So
You should, because you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. The
Okay.
world's a changing world.
Back to what you were saying.
Sorry. I get off topic fast. But I weighed out the pros and cons, and I was like, I like this. I feel safe. I make very good money doing this. It's extremely effortless. I was raised in theater. I was raised on stage and music. So being on stage for me is like nothing.
Nothing.
It's so easy for me. People
already
always ask me
comfortable
that.
with doing it.
Yeah, people ask me
Yeah.
that all the time. Like, do you ever get nervous? I'm like, for what? Y'all are the same as me. We're all human.
That's one thing
We're all the same.
I try to recognize too, is that basically when you feel like you know how they say, oh, you might feel nervous to meet somebody, but in my head I'm like, they're just as nervous as me, so it
The
doesn't
only
really.
person I've ever fangirled to meet, and like I've met celebrities, I've hung out with celebrities, like I have friends that are like in the rap game,
Mm-hmm.
like super cool people. Like the only person I got super ecstatic to meet was Guy Tang, and he's huge in the cosmetology world. And when I was younger, I wanted to be a cosmetologist, and I went through all kinds of training and courses, and life led me a different direction, but he was just such a fundamental teacher for me, and so I really truly valued him. So I was working a red carpet, and I was doing the video for one of my DJs.
Uh-huh.
He does like previews and promotions and red carpets, and I was the videographer, and I'm like, that's Guy Tang. And I was so excited because I was like, man, like this guy, I've never met him in my life, but he's taught me so much and he's so cool. And that's the only time I've ever really fangirled or like maybe been, I wouldn't say I was nervous. I was just excited. But I don't get like nervous. Like I can really meet anybody.
And be pretty much cool.
Yeah,
Be
because
cool.
I don't know. If you like me, great. If you love me, even better. If you don't like me, I don't know. That's your loss.
What about, okay, so this is something, there's a few things I want to get off real quick. I know they were saying that a lot of the dancers have daddy issues.
I think that's like a weird stigma.
And I do notice that, I'm not saying that's...
No.
I
Tell
do
me.
feel like that's true.
I think that goes back to this psychological thing that I was speaking about earlier when it comes to coming from some kind of background, whether it's like going through a lot of trauma, domestic violence. Myself, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. You know, going through those rough things in life, you are forced. You are not given the option. You are forced to find out who you are. And it's a really ugly thing that becomes so beautiful. That's why I have a death moth on my throat, right? Because a moth goes through metamorphosis and it goes all the way down to goo. Goes all the way down to goo in its cocoon. And then once it comes to its final form and its rebirth, it is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life. And sometimes you have to be broken down to absolute rock bottom to truly figure out who and what you are and what you want to be, who you want to be, how you want to be, what your values are, what your morals, your dreams, your aspirations, your goals. I personally experienced that. I know a lot of young women in this industry are going through that. And there's a really cool sisterhood that you kind of bond through. And this industry is such a beautiful thing if you let it be. Like anything in life. It's so beautiful if you let it be, but it could also be so ugly if so you let it be.
So you would say that is true then? You dealt with that, right?
I mean, I don't have daddy issues. I mean, I make a joke. I can't have daddy issues if I don't have one. But no. I mean, I have a stepdad and we have an amazing relationship and I love him.
Okay.
I call him my father. He's not like my sperm donor bio dad. That dude's a weirdo. He's a loser. But I don't think it's like a whole daddy issue thing. I think that's a stigma that a lot of people pay to play to use because it's like, oh yeah, I need a captain save a hoe. I need a man in my life that's gonna prove to me this and that. I mean, guys want to talk down on girls, but we're over here like, yeah, eat this shit up with a golden spoon, bitch. Feed me.
Yeah.
Provide for me.
But I wanted, before I wrap this up, I actually wanted to ask this because a lot of the security guards, they complain about that, including myself. You know, me as a manager, I used to get tipped out at the club I was at.
Right.
How do you feel about tipping out?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Were you a good tipper?
I'm a very good tipper. I believe so.
Wow.
I think it all depends on the night. I think the DJ of all people sees who makes the most and who makes the least, because they see if somebody grabs you, after they see if you haven't made rain on you. The DJ is like the crypt keeper of the whole club. He sees everything. He's on the watchtower. So the DJ will see if you made or didn't make money, because they're calling you and they're getting a buzz and they're, oh no, she's in the VIP. She's getting a 30-minute. You're like, oh, that bitch is $600 deep. I better be getting a fat tip tonight.
So they know.
Yeah, the DJs know. More than management, more than anyone, the DJs see how much you make. But I think that we can all be gracious towards each other, because the economy is kind of weird. The internet has changed this industry. It's not what it used to be 5 years ago. It's certainly not what it was 20 years ago, when it was taboo and more exciting. But I think you just tip appropriately. Like for me, if I have a server or even another dancer come up to me and be like, hey, this guy likes blondes, or like this guy likes you, or this guy asked for you, I'm going to tip her out, because she didn't have to do that. And I hope he tipped her out too. That's another rule of commandment we could put on there. It's like, if you like somebody and you send a bitch to go get another bitch, give a bitch a bone.
Yeah. All right. So for those that don't know, if you guys ever see her, if you ever work with her, all the DJs, she's a great tipper, by the way. All right, so before we wrap this up, I want you to, if you want to give any shout-outs, do your plugs as far as your IG, where they can find you at, go ahead and feel free to do so. Your OnlyFans, or your soon-to-be OnlyFans. Yeah,
my soon-to-be OnlyFans, I don't know how that's going to go. It's definitely going to be PG-13. I'm not too fond of doing anything X-rated. What you put on the internet is on there forever. Doesn't matter how you delete it. So remember that, girls. But on Instagram, I'm XOXOELLEXO. And I believe on TikTok, I'm XOXO Barbie XO.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much what I got for social media. Like I said, there's no such thing as a self-made man or woman. I'm just grateful for everybody in my path. And I'm very blessed to be where I'm at in life. I think that we're all on a journey in life, and we're all just finding our footing.
All right.
But shout out to everybody that brought me where I am. And DJ Frankie Lane. That is my boy. I love Frankie with all my heart. If it wasn't for Frankie, I wouldn't have worked with or at half the clubs that I have. He is one of the best DJs I've ever worked with. He's one of the greatest friends I've ever had. And I truly value and appreciate him.
All right. Yeah, shout out to him. And with that, once again, this is your boy Invincible with the Gentleman Club Diary. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to stay tuned for our next episode. And I want to thank you for coming out, Barbie.
Yeah, thanks again for having me. Bye, guys. I'll see you later.